So what does a fraction actually look like? What does it look like when you see a fraction? And a lot of times your child will see a lot of different fractions. You're going to see a bunch of different types of fractions. And what do they look like and what do they mean? And you'll do exercises with them initially going on. So here's some ways to look at that and think about this as you see this in school or what you might take a look at. So if you ever see a fraction, you're dealing with a fraction, you see one whole circle or one whole shape, well, that's essentially 1/1. That's a whole that has not been cut into a part yet. And you'll learn more about that as you move more ahead in fractions. But then you're going to see something that'll be cut in half. So let's say you have something like this. You have two sides, if you will. It's been cut into two shapes, if you will, two equal parts, and you're only dealing with one of them. So that's half. You can really see that's half of a fraction. That's a half that you're dealing with. Now we'll take a look at some more examples. So let's say right here I have three parts that this has been cut up into. So this circle has been cut up into three parts. So I'm dealing with three, and since it's been cut up into three parts, I put the 3 on the bottom, that's the denominator, and we're dealing with one part that's shaded. So that's going to be 1/3. If on the right here I have three parts that's been cut up, and let's say I put an x over one, so I'm dealing with one, and I put an x over another. Now I'm dealing with 2/3 of that shape. So it's been cut into three parts, that goes in the denominator, but I'm only dealing with two parts of that, so that goes in the numerator. So it's 2/3 that I'm dealing with. Let's take a look at another example. Let's say we're looking at this, and this is 1/4, right? So it's been cut into four parts, and then it's one apart has been shaded, so that's 1/4. If I go ahead and mark out off another one, I've gotten 2/4 right there. So I have 2/4, which essentially is half of this circle. Now if I mark off another part of the circle, now I'm dealing with 3/4 of the circle. So it's been cut into four equal parts, and now I'm dealing with three of those. So I'm dealing with 3/4 of that. Let's take a look at another example as we look at this. In this example right here, it's been cut into 5 parts. If you count each of those little triangles, the circle's been cut into 5 parts. And I'm dealing with 1/5 of it. So one part is shaded. So 1/5. So the 5 goes on the bottom because it's been cut into that many parts. That's the denominator. And we're dealing with 1/5 of that. Let's take a look at another example, one more example here. In this situation, it's been cut into 6 triangles. This circle has been cut up into 6 equal parts, and I'm only dealing with one of those parts. So I'm dealing with 1/6. That's the fraction here. So remember, it's really important to remember to count how many parts there are, how many parts the whole or the circle, whatever shape you're dealing with, has been cut up into. That's your denominator, and whatever part is shaded or the other part you're dealing with, that's your numerator. In this case, it's 1/6.